Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. I'm Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson, and I'm the senior minister here. Oh my gosh, I have such a special guest here. The theme for the month of July is manifestation. You know, the truth is we are always manifesting, always, 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 always. Are we manifesting what we want, or are we manifesting as champions? So I have with us my dear friend, my soul brother, an amazing teacher out in the world, Chris Natzke, who is a champion. You are a champion by your own right. You are like in the 1% of Taekwondo, martial arts people. That's huge. And you started a very long time ago.
I did, a very long time ago.
Like you were 10.
I was 10 years old when I started.
Because you watched
a TV show called Kung Fu.
Yeah, you all watched that, I bet.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, go watch it because it's really inspiring. So you're older than your teenage years.
I am much older than when I started, yes.
You are a United States champion.
It's a former champion, yes.
And that is that's big. You are a bestseller author. You have 2 books out. I love them so much. I bought one for my friends and family for Christmas. And I know what I know about you, Chris, is that you literally have helped thousands of people become champions in their own life. You are a world-renowned life coach in telling people, coaching people, helping people become champions in their own life. Do people even think about the word champion?
Well, I think it's interesting. You know, it's a word that works well with me because I think that each and every one of us has this seed potentiality of greatness inside of us.
Yes.
And you know, I've shared my story with you before that at a very young age, I had my original Taekwondo instructor make that claim for me. And he said, I will make you a champion.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes share, and I just shared, you know, with your congregation a couple hours ago that when he said, I will make you a champion, that's what my head heard. But what my heart heard was, I believe in you. And I think that there's such a beautiful thing that comes with that when someone makes that claim for us and then we can make that claim for ourselves, that's when the real champion arises.
And that's really what you do as a coach.
That's correct.
You believe in your people. I know because I've been on, I've been a subject of your coaching, and you guys, you've hung in there with me in times, and we've just begun though. And oh my God, I just, your belief in me is invaluable. It's incredible.
Thank you.
So, you just believe in yourself and that's it, right?
Oh, no, you know.
No.
Well, you know, it's the thing about martial arts. It's an action philosophy. You know, the person that brought martial arts or Taekwondo to the United States, his name is Grandmaster Jun Rhee. And he said, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, an action is worth 1,000 pictures. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So martial arts is an action philosophy. So it's one thing to know and have a vision for what you want, but we have to take action.
We have to take action.
And
in the world of metaphysics, I forget her name. She wrote a book called, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Terry Cole Whitaker. Okay. But what she said was, you got to treat and move your feet.
Treat and move your feet. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my most, when I first started studying science of mind and spirit, it's one of the first things I heard. And it's so important. And I think that sometimes we can get to a point where it's easy to be in the visualization of things, and it's easy to be in prayer of things, and that's all good. And then it's like, okay, now I'm done. My work's done. And it's not. And the thing that I think that most people don't understand is they don't have to be monumental leaps. They just, in my opinion, need to be steps that are taken consistently. Right. Consistent action that we take each and every day, even if it's in small amounts, because what ends up happening is there's a cumulative effect. Once we take one step, it leads to another. And pretty soon you look back after a year and you're light years ahead of where you were.
Statistic
Yeah. The statistic goes something like this. If we got 1% better at a certain activity every day for a year, at the end of a year, we'd be 37 times better than when we started. which is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
But if we took that same 1% increase each and every day over the course of 2 years, most people would think we'd be 74 times better because it's double, but we'd be 1,400 times better.
How is that?
It's compound interest. Compound interest.
Yeah.
And so what I'd like to say is that what happens is our good habits, our actions, they don't add up, they compound.
That is so
They
amazing.
compound.
Yeah.
And if you did that for over 5 years, Jody, 1% per day,
Yeah.
76 million times better.
Okay,
It's
so
crazy.
I'm in my early 70s. Am I just too old?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I think that each and every time when we're in life as adulthood, we probably come up against that. When we're 20, we think, oh, I'm not a teenager anymore, right? When I'm 30, I'm too old. And we're never too old. Now that doesn't mean that things don't change.
Right.
But the one thing about as we age is, what about the great knowledge and wisdom that we have?
I know.
Now, we also have some limiting beliefs we've carried along the way.
Yes, we do.
That's what we need to address.
Yes,
But
do. Yeah.
my gosh, I think of myself now, it's 59. I think I'm a lot brighter than even when I was 49. And I was pretty bright then, right? But we continue to grow and expand.
Yeah. I so love your positive attitude. You really do believe in spirit.
Yeah. Well,
you really do. You have proven this in your own life.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and it is part of a championship mindset, right? When I was competing, when I was in the ring, and I was competing on a national level in Taekwondo, and it was full contact fighting, right? So I could win by knockout, or they could win by knockout. Number one, it helps you get very present.
Yes, no
right?
kidding.
Very present. But number two is you have to have that belief in self.
You have to.
You have to have it, because
So did you knock out your opponent?
a few,
like the winner?
Yeah. But not everyone, but at least one. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that we have to have that belief. And the other thing too that really helps is not only having a belief in yourself, but surrounding yourself in people that believe in you.
Yes.
And we have a mutual friend, Kellyanne Zelinsky, who taught me this. And she says that many times in coaching, we're looking for people that will hold us accountable for actions. And I think there's strength in that, but I also think there's a derogatory tone. And she says, you want to find people that hold you capable.
Yeah.
I love that distinction.
I love that distinction.
I hold you capable.
Yeah. I love that. What is the greatest challenge that people have to really fulfill, embrace their dreams?
Yeah.
What is that? And is there one thing?
Oh, I don't know if there's one thing. I think there's a multitude of things. I think what gets people tied up is, number one is, first of all, inaction, because they're afraid of making a mistake. And so what I always tell people is, take one small step that leads to another, then leads to another, whatever the next right move is. The other mistake they make is on the other side of that perspective, is they say they have to take monumental step right out of the gates. And it becomes so uncomfortable. They move into what I call the panic zone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And they snap back and sometimes even regress.
Yeah.
So you want to go to what I call the stretch zone, that 1% we talked about, where each and every day you're just making steady progress. And then you start to build momentum.
I've been a counselor for 40 years, as you know. And I will say the one thing that holds people back is the need to be perfect.
Yes.
It's like, if I can't do this because it won't be perfect.
Oh, man.
And my response to that, it absolutely, totally will not be perfect. You'll be terrible at it.
That's right.
And they'll go, well, I may not be that bad. And I go, well, then go do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can get through that.
Yeah.
And in martial arts, we create the distinction. If you ever saw me teach a martial art class, at the very end of the class, I'll ask all the students a question. I will say, what's our goal? And in unison, they'll respond, black belt excellence, sir.
Oh.
And so that positive affirmation anchors the class. But here's the deal. We didn't say black belt perfection.
Yes, absolutely.
We said black belt excellence.
Yes. And that's what I tell people. We're not striving for perfection. We're striving for excellence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just be as excellent as
Absolutely.
you can be. And some days you're going to be brilliant, and some days you might not be.
Right. You may be more excellent one day than you are the next.
Absolutely.
But that's what you're striving for. Yeah,
absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. You have worked with every age there is.
I have.
What's your favorite?
Oh my. Well, I'll tell you what, you are right that I've worked with preschoolers all the way up. I think my The oldest person get their black belt with me is 77.
I remember
Yeah.
you telling me
Um,
that. You were so proud.
Yeah. You know what's been best for me in my career as a martial artist, and then even as a coach and speaker, is I love seeing young people start to come into their power
Yeah.
as teenagers.
I know.
And they start to learn who they are as human beings.
Yeah.
And they learn that they've got this, they've got even greater things than they thought were even possible. And when they start to build on that, I love that age. And when I go out and speak, I love speaking to that teenage group as
I
well.
love the teenagers.
Yeah.
They're so honest.
Yes.
And they're so wise, and
Yes.
they have no hesitation to tell you
That's,
what they
yeah,
think.
I'll tell you what I've learned.
Yeah.
You better be good right at the
Yeah,
beginning.
you better be, because if you're
You may
not,
lose it.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Yeah, I love that you're working with that age. I know, being a teenager, I was a mess.
Yeah.
I was a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
And heading into a lot of addictions and compulsions, and
Right.
I was so insecure.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what martial arts saved me. I mean, I was 13 when I met my Taekwondo instructor. I had started at age 10, but then
Right.
he immigrated from South Korea. And I grew up in a household, as you know, with
Yeah.
an alcoholic father.
Yep, me
And I
too.
could have taken a very
Me
different
too.
route.
Me
But when
too.
he took me under his wing,
Oh, you're
and
so
he got, oh my
fortunate.
gosh, he was an angel in my life.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that motivates and inspires me to do that
Yeah.
with others,
Yeah.
because that gift was given to me.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I happen to think that you're one of the best speakers, if not the best speaker that I've ever heard. I've heard so many. And speaking, you travel the world speaking, and you speak about being a champion.
Being a champion, breaking through those limiting beliefs and
Yeah.
taking that, that inspired action.
Yeah.
It's really I guess the message, the essence of my message is to help people understand the purposeful vision that they have for their life, their
Yeah.
business, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this, as many people are really good at explaining what they don't want.
I know.
They can't explain what they really do want.
I know.
Yeah.
And research shows through hospice, and also through like the Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
that only 3% of people don't regret their life
That's
at
right.
the end of their life.
That's right.
I don't want to be one
That's
of those
right.
people. So I
Yeah.
have some.
They
dreams I
regret
have
the
to
things they
fulfill.
didn't do, the chances they didn't take.
Yeah.
So understanding that purposeful vision, and then it's like having what I call conscious persistence. And I create a distinction with this because many of us are very persistent about things. We do the same things each and every day when
Right.
we wake up. There's persistence there, but we're not conscious about our
of it,
actions.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
taking a step back, and then after that, taking that inspired action and be dedicated to service,
Yeah.
whatever, because we've each got our own individual gifts.
Yeah.
And I think the commentary on a really successful life is utilizing our gifts to serve to the highest degree.
Yeah.
And every time we go into an interaction, go into a room, go into a conversation, whatever, try to leave it a little bit better than when we came.
I
And if
love
we
it.
do
You
that,
you do
yeah,
that.
thank you.
It's so wonderful.
Mm.
Do you ever get like pissed off?
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, good.
Of course I do. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now
You
that make
think?
me angry. Right. But the other thing that we know that we need to is we have to be the change we want to see. Right.
We do. But from a champion perspective, how do we deal with everything that's going on in the world?
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
Yeah. Well, we certainly have to make sure that here's the thing I would say. I'll give you a little story, a lovely story that I heard years ago. It was about Mother Teresa. And it was the height of the Vietnam War. And they said to her, we're going to be having a march against the war.
I remember this.
Right? Would
Yeah.
you lead us? And she said, no.
No.
And they were like, what? And she said, if you have a march against the war, I can't be there. But if you have a march for peace, I will lead you.
Yeah.
And so as we see things that are going on in the world that we don't like, it's okay to be upset initially. And it's okay to use that anger as a catalyst, but we don't do it from a perspective of anger
Yeah.
to be against something. We
Right.
say, what can I be for?
Right.
And that's what keeps the positive energy
Right.
moving.
And Dr. Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind philosophy said we are never against anything,
That's right.
which is, it's been hard.
That's right. It's been very hard. Yes.
Yeah.
But when we take that element, that stance of being against something, then we can kind of become the thing that we don't want.
I know.
We end up being that mirrored
I
image.
know.
And it
That's how
takes
works.
strength and it takes
Yeah.
discipline
Yep.
to be able to hold our energy up in that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, the thing of it is too, doesn't mean you never get upset, doesn't mean you never fall off.
Right.
It's just, but if you mess up, gotta get back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have accomplished a lot in your lifetime. What's left for you?
Oh my, I want to continue to travel the world speaking and inspiring.
Yeah.
I think that, part of my message is helping people find their champion inside and then
Mhm.
being able to impact the world. And I just want to do it on a broader scale.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the work that I was doing when I started teaching martial arts, say at 16 years old, and in my little town in Wisconsin had my own club, I'm basically doing the same work today.
I know.
I'm just doing it in different ways.
know.
And I want to do it in such a way where, because I think the world needs right now people who are shining light.
Yeah.
And that's what they want, what I want to be.
Yeah. You are so loudly and proudly living your soul purpose. And it's so beautiful. Thank you for all the times you have spoken at the Boulder Valley Church,
pleasure.
and you spoke this morning in-house. You were brilliant. I loved how you called Rachel Martinez
Yes,
up, and she
yeah.
just punched
An
that.
old student, she broke a
I
board. She's
know,
amazing. It was
so
great.
much fun.
Yeah.
It was great. I
Yeah.
wish we had been able to record it, but thank you so much for being here. I will be calling you
All right.
for more
Sounds good.
activities, and thank you so much.
Very welcome, Jody. And thank you. And you all know how blessed you are to have her.
Oh,
So I just
thank
went in,
you.
and she's, she talks about me coaching her. She's reciprocated that tenfold. We work with each other.
We
So I
do.
so
We
appreciate
call
you.
each other
We do.
on our less than excellent.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
we do.
go,
We
"Oh,
do.
we don't want to go there.
we do. We do.
You really are such a soul brother of mine.
Mhm.
I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. So
I'm
thank
grateful
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us here at the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. Please donate so we can continue, and go to our newsletter. And we have lots of things happening right now. We really have lots of things happening. So go to our newsletter, Center for Spiritual Living, BoulderValley.org. Have a wonderful week and go out, be excellent in the best way you can, and be the champion that you want to be. Thanks for joining us.